At Geneva, the Peugeot 308 won the coveted European Car of the Year award, and although here at Auto Express we didn't quite agree that it was better than the Mercedes S-Class and BMW i3, this estate version has all the chances of becoming a class leader. It's got an enormous boot, a new range of efficient Euro 6 engines and more space than before. So we're here in France to find out what it's like.
High-spec cars come with full LED headlights front and rear and big smart alloy wheels. Inside it has the same 9.7-inch touchscreen as the Hatch 2, which controls everything from the aircon to the sat-nav and the media system, plus a new range of connected apps.
Family cars like the 308 SW are all about space, and Peugeot certainly has done their homework in this regard. As you can see, the loading area is nice, wide and with a low loading lip, so it's easy to lift stuff into the boot. There's also 610 litres of space here, and that's because this car is about 33 centimetres longer than the hatch version. There are a few niggles like this parcel shelf, which feels pretty cheap and doesn't exactly have the smoothest action in the world. But if you pull one of these handles like that, then the seat bases of the rear seats pop out. They fold down and leave you with a perfectly flat loading bay, so it's nice and easy to slide big heavy items into the boot. And in this position you've got 1660 litres of space, which is very impressive and better than most cars in the class above. Luckily for us, the 308 SW is not just an estate version of the standard car. No, Peugeot has also chosen this time to introduce 4 new engines to the range, 2 petrol and 2 diesel. We're driving one of the petrols. It's the new PureTech 1.2 litre direct injection turbo. It makes 128 brake horsepower and 230 newton meters of torque. And it's a bit like the 1 litre EcoBoost engine that you get in the Focus estate, which means it's got a very distinctive 3-cylinder character, but it's actually surprisingly refined here in this car. Revs quite strongly, responds nicely, and it essentially replaces the old 1.6 litre engine in the range. Now, it's been very quiet so far, but if you press the sport button down here, then you get a bit of a sharper throttle response, weightier steering, and also if you drop down a gear, you get a much more distinctive engine note. The other nice thing about sport mode is that you get a little dial up here which tells you exactly how much power and torque you're using at any given time. It works off the throttle sensor, but it's actually quite fun. Here now it tells me I'm using 27 brake horsepower. I put my foot down a little harder. Now I'm using 95 brake horsepower, and then you can pretty quickly rev it all the way up to 128 horsepower being used through the front wheels. The 6-speed gearbox is a little bit vague, if I'm honest, and the handling is actually much the same as the hatch. It's very comfortable on certain roads, but the wrong amount of surface change can quickly start making it thud around a little. It's very dependent on wheel size, and if you want my advice, I think I would stick to the 15 or 16-inch alloy wheels rather than going for the bigger, prettier wheels, but they thump around a lot more on a rough surface. We definitely prefer the 308 as an SW than as a hatch, but I have to say there are still some niggles that annoy me. These seats don't have a lot of side support, so when you're cornering you can feel yourself slipping around. The rear seats, well, they've got more legroom than before, but they're still mounted quite high, so tall passengers have to be careful, particularly if you spec the optional panoramic sunroof. And it also makes quite a lot of unnecessary bongs. For example, I've pulled up here in the street. If I open this door without putting the handbrake on, then as you can hear, it sounds like we're about to have a plane crash. It makes all kinds of other annoying noises too if you've left the lights on or the keys aren't where they should be, and that can get a little grating after a while. And the sat-nav, I have to say, isn't as good as it should be either. So the new Peugeot 308, as we've seen, is a bit more of a beach cruiser than a GTI. Still, the new PureTech engine is a real highlight, and as a whole package it feels mature, grown up, and I have to say incredibly practical as well. It might not be the best in its class. I have to say I think the Seat Leon ST probably pips it as an all-round package. Still, at £19,000 for the active model, it's certainly worth a look if you're in the market for this type of car.
Click the video windows below to watch our video reviews of the Kia Ceed Sportwagon and Honda Civic Tourer, or click the play icon to see our latest video, or the Auto Express logo to subscribe.